All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Bob McQuillan. I'm here in the treatment room at Hand and Stone, and I am really excited about today's guest. Today's guest is the president of IFPG, one of the premier networks out there for brokers/consultants to bring in business from a franchise level, and we're excited to have a partnership with them. And so this morning, let me welcome Red Boswell, president of IFPG, to the show. Red, welcome.
Thanks, Bob. Great to be here. Appreciate you and all you do for franchising.
All right. Well, hey, it's going to be a fun conversation, and this is all about, I feel like we've kind of gone through the worst part of it, right? So we're kind of hitting our stride right now. So let's get right down to it, Red. I'm going to ask you some questions, and then let's just continue to have a conversation about these topics here. So first question. Talk to me, as the president of IFPG, talking about the management philosophy and preparation heading into the pandemic, once you and your team learned the magnitude of it.
Sure. So I'm in Dallas, Texas. My team, really all my team, is in north central Jersey. So, really close to the epicenter there. They've got a different world than maybe I do in Dallas. I've actually been at the office every day throughout the pandemic, didn't miss a single day here at our offices, but it is an office of one in a larger building where very few people are here. They, on the other hand, we immediately, sent them home, set up their offices at home if it wasn't already set up. So that was, kind of elementary, foundational. Most folks did that. We really quickly took the philosophy, no ZOR left behind and really no member left behind. We have franchisor members, about 450, 470. We have consultants that are finding buyers for franchisors, about 570. And we've got another 100 plus vendors or suppliers to the industry. So we have about 1,100 members, and we switched our focus from at least half the company is development focused, bringing on new members, supporting them. We said, forget development completely. It's all about no member left behind. Reach out to them all. How can we help? How can we support? And so I started something similar to you, sharing best practices, interviewing great members who are pivoting and trying to survive this, and in some cases even thrive through this. So that's really been the focus.
Well, that's great, and that's a great segue to the next question too. So we like to think all this is thought out properly, and it's going to be an easy transition. But what do you see now as there's always those bumps in the road? What do you see as those bumps in the road are the biggest challenges in the way you've done business, and then kind of after, as you say, pivoted, kind of what have you done to overcome that?
So throughout the, these are some big topics, man. We could go all day on this.
Yeah, sure.
None of us have ever lived through a pandemic. And so this was all new area to us all. And we looked at the members, we reached out and we said, it's about you guys. How can we help? Like I mentioned, and in some cases, there was some serious heartache happening, right? And in those cases, we said, okay, let's work with you on it. Do we need to, like franchisors, really? It's about communicating, open, honest communication, and being selfless, and in burning the midnight oil. A lot of folks I couldn't relate to on social media saying, I'm so bored, I'm sitting at home doing nothing. Man, my team has never worked harder, and they were already kicking butt. So they reached out, and we if we needed to, we deferred a month or two. We did like a great franchisor. This is a partnership. This is a family, and we're going to do what it takes to help the family survive. And it's been beautiful. We've actually we didn't know what to expect either, by the way. We thought, man, is this going to destroy us? Is this the end? We got the apocalypse at IFPG, and we have really been protected, really blessed through it. We normally are growing at a pretty hefty clip. We did not have a dip. Amazingly, we still in the heart of the pandemic we had a dip on new clients. We weren't even pursuing new clients, but we still were adding new clients. And the dip on losing clients was extremely minuscule. So anyway, very blessed to have that. Couldn't be more, our prayers were answered. We all were doing the extra prayers across the country. And it's been, what's the new world that IFPG look like? It's more the same. It's not anything huge. There's been no permanent pivots. We're back to pursuing new clients. We're back to actually deal announcements. That's something we weren't doing. We said, okay, there are people in massive hurt here, lots of fear. We're going to stop all deal announcements. See, we're doing deals every day. Even through the pandemic, we had quite a few franchisors closing deals, awarding franchises, and we celebrate with them by announcing it to the world. Social media,
Sure.
emails. We said at least 60 days, no deal announcements. We don't need to rub it in for maybe the 70% of the franchisors who are really struggling. Those 30%, we'll do a little private high five, but we're not going to announce it to the world. And it really, it's just not the right time for it.
Yeah. And I've heard that from other folks, management teams and leaders of other businesses and franchisors. What surprised you, Brad, about, as the president of IFPG, about your employees and consultants? What has surprised you most as you've were coming out of this now through this whole experience?
Surprised. So what has surprised us? Surprised is the wrong word. I'll use impressed. Our team, support team at IFPG Corporate has never been more I've never been more impressed by them. I'll tell you what, they are going at full steam. Now, remember, they're in the heart of the pandemic, epicenter there in northern New Jersey.
Sure.
They're all working from home. Some of them hadn't left their home in a month or more, and yet they are hitting it harder than ever, supporting the franchisor. So I wasn't so surprised. I was just thankful and so impressed. Now, on the members side, I guess the biggest surprise to me was the number of ZORs. And remember, I've been interviewing a whole lot of them similar to you. I'm really most surprised about how many franchisors are actually doing very well. Now, there's no hype to that. I'm talking to them a dozen a day and interviewing at least one a day. And there is a significant part of this industry that is really not been hurt. And I could go all day about it. The cleaning services, the delivery services, the services that don't have to touch the individual, the senior mini spaces in the senior care space, even some of the fitness brands that are just been pummeled by this have pivoted significantly, changed their model. Some have changed their model forever, in that they're offering online services that they never offered before, in that they're offering workouts in the park that they say will never stop because they've been so well received. Wow. So I've just been blown away by how positive this wonderful industry of franchising has been.
I mean, those stories are great to hear. Right now, I mean, obviously you're in Texas. I'm in New Jersey. Nicole's in Pennsylvania. We've got a little bit more road to go yet before we get to kind of a place where we're opening businesses here in Pennsylvania and New Jersey. But many states are. We've opened, Anderson's opened in Texas, and as well as many other businesses. And now we're kind of at the threshold of other states, which brings hope and optimism, right? So how are your clients' stories unfolding in the way of hope and optimism? Can you share some success stories with us?
Well, again, we could talk all day about that, brother. So we've got consultant members, we have franchisor members, and we have supplier members. Consultants and ZORs work hand in hand all day long, getting candidates and ultimately awarding franchises, taking folks through the process. Well, the biggest problem, I've been saying this for at least 5 years, the biggest problem franchisors are having, because at least 2/3 of franchisors are job replacement. If you're just really honest, it's a job replacement. You may
Sure.
you're doing your job different, maybe part-time, maybe semi-absentee, but they're getting rid of a job and they're going into franchising. 2/3 of the industry. Well, when the job market has been what it's been for the last 5 years, you're losing deals left and right as a franchisor because they're getting a great job, they're getting a raise, they're getting pursued by all these different companies with a big raise in mind when they get that job. And so we have lost more deals in franchising, not validations, not financing has been relatively good. So all the reasons you lose a deal, it's been jobs. Well, we all know that's not the case anymore. So what I'm seeing now and into the future is the pipeline is better than we've seen it in most of us in our career in franchising. The unemployment has been so huge. And you know what else? Not just unemployment, people working at home and they're going, I could take this. I don't think I want to go back to that commute. So we've been really encouraged by the the lead flow big time bump here with folks loving the freedom that they've experienced for the first time. And then, of course, the unemployment has been helpful. You never want to benefit from a pandemic, but you want to be a blessing and someone's answer to their prayers. And that's what franchising and consultants and franchisors have been able to be.
Well, I would say amen to that, brother. That's for darn sure. Last question, Red. And I know we're taking up a lot of your time. We really appreciate it. But what if you had your, as you call it, the IFPG family, right? Your consultants and Zors alongside of you today. What would your message be to them about the future?
It's never been a better time to be in franchising. I mean, franchising, we've seen it more than ever through this pandemic that the mom and pops out there are struggling. They're on an island by themselves. They've never gone through this. They don't have a Zor. These mom and pops out there don't have a franchisor supporting them, rallying the troops, bringing dozens, if not hundreds of franchisees on a call. What are you doing? What's best practices? What's working? What's not? Let's get some PPP money for you. Let's work through this together. Let's get the extra support in the field. Let's get some royalty deferment. I mean, franchising proved itself in spades throughout this pandemic, and the mom and pops have not had the same benefit. And so what I would say to members of IFPG, whether you're a consultant, whether you're a franchisor, whether you're a supplier to the industry, franchising has proved itself again and again through this pandemic, and there's never been a better time to be in franchising. I couldn't be more proud of the industry. Not just Zors helping their Zs, it's the whole industry helping one another. You're a great example. You're doing these interviews that are supplying best practices to the industry, and we just rallied together like never before. And the franchise family, or Fran family, has been, man, it's been tight. When you go through adversity, sometimes it pulls you apart or it brings you together. And in this case, franchising has been brought together like never before. I couldn't be prouder to be in franchising. Well,
I'll tell you that's a great testament, and I'll tell you that's I feel like I'm in church right now. You make a great pastor, Red. That's for darn sure. And on behalf of Nicole and I and all of Hand and Stone, thank you for spending time in the treatment room with us. I hope it met your expectations, because you certainly exceeded ours.
Bob, you rule, brother. Thank you. We love working with Hand and Stone. Well, IFPG represents you, finds you some great leads, and we just thank your selflessness and giving back to the community like you're doing. Appreciate you, brother. And I hope to see you on the road real soon. Give you a hug from the pastor of franchising.
Amen. I look forward to it. Thanks, Red.
Thanks.
Take care. All right.